Hello, 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 and Happy New Year to everybody out there. Now we're in 2018. That's time for another small tutorial, and this time I will just continue with the AF-s VR Nikkor 70 to 200 2.8G. And show how it can be fixed in the when the focus is a bit when it cannot go to the very near end. This lens is okay, but I get inspired by iFixit, and they have a tutorial only in pictures, stills, but they they show how things get wrong, and so I think I will make a film about it. It's very different from only stills. So hang on, we just go on. So if you haven't seen the other film where I disassembled this lens, you can just follow, because it will be the exact same thing when going into the lens. So just need to take off the tripod plate, which is held by 4 screws, and again the screwdriver is important. This is a modified Phillips 00. This is a Vera, the German brand Vera, which I like. It's a PH00. So, but I have just filed a very sharp, pointy tip, so it can it goes correct into the screws. So let's go ahead. It's not that hard. Just need some good tools, so it's actually very easy to go into. If you have the yeah, you think you can do it, so it is. Remember, there are 2 different lengths of the screws, and the longest one is towards the front of the lens, so it will be something like this. So I put the plate and the screws here. Oh, maybe you can see it here, so better explain. So all 4 screws are here, and then just loosen the tripod lock, this ring, and there will be 3 screws around that hold this ring in place. Here and there, and the last one is here. So we need to take that out, and remember that small plastic thingy. And we just need a pointy tweezer. Sometimes they can be a little tricky to get out, but this one was okay. And the next one there. There's actually not so many screws in this lens that you might expect, but it's actually very easy to get into if you have some knowledge with handling lenses. So here we are. So that's it. And then I can actually take off the ring here. Now the next thing is we need to take 11 screws around here, all the way around. There's only 11 because the last hole is actually a lock pin, something here. It's, you can see it's the underside of the lens. This is where the lock pin is. Now, before we do so, I will just take off the contact board. The plastic is not very good, so you need to take some care when you screw it in again. This is also where our flex cable is, and you need to be a little careful. So since I already been into this lens, I know where things go, and some dentist tool is actually very handy. And so to unlock those flex cable, one need to go in and lift one end up here gently. It's plastic, so it pops, and then I can just take it out. Well, maybe I should mention I use a tweezer, which I put on some spray, some plastic coat, which make the tweezer sticky ends, so it will be a lot easier to grab the thing, the flex, and just lift it out. And just to make sure it's put correct in, I just put a small mark where the this should face, just for you to remember. Well, the other two have to sit the opposite direction as the other one. And again, I use some dentist tool, which is quite handy, to get in and lift it up. One end here and the other end here, so it's free. And now it's just to lift it out gently, and then the last one. So here we are. And then it's much wider than the other two. So now we have something that is ready for takeoff. And then we need to take off the nameplate here, which is set by 4 small screws. And then it can be taken off. So this is how it looks. Now The rest is just 11 screws that has to be unscrewed fully. And if your lens is not hard, not easy to unscrew, then you can add some, if you take a cotton bud and just add a little nail polish remover on each screw head here, all the way around on each screw, and let the nail polish remover melt the plastic, the thread lock, so it will be a lot easier to unscrew. And if you do not do it, well, you can damage the screw head, and then you have a real problem to unscrew. Since I already been into this lens, it's not that hard to get into it. It's all the same length, so there shouldn't be any problem with that. One thing you have to take care of when you take off the back part of the lens is just the flex cable. And it's not really that hard. It will not fall off just from here, because it's an outer tube put into another inner tube, which is the front part. So there's nothing to be worried about. And then this lens, and there is some, yeah, only two left. And this lens actually works very good, so it's just to show how it's done. Now the lens is actually free to, if I got all the screws, yes, all the way around, and then one can just keep a good hand here and then push it backward. So take care of the flex when you take this off here, and you will probably think, what is going on here? Well, I tried to, in an earlier film, I just tried to figure out, because this lens was completely dead. So I give it a go and put in another cord, just to, as you say, try to see if it was the fuse down here, but it was not. So there's only two cords here, which I actually can take out if I want to do it. But so that's fine for now. Now then we will go deeper into the lens, and to do it correct, I will just take off the this rubber ring. And as you see, I put the lens cap, front lens cap on, so nothing will happen there. Now, this is a zoom ring, and there is 2 screws, and I also need to take them out. But first, before I do so, I will just unscrew the the lens before the aperture, which you can see here. Nice work. So now I will take off the lens first. Where's the end of the tape? Should be somewhere here. And it's just good sticky tape. I think it's nothing really special. Maybe it's a little more sticky than ordinary good tape, but so it's free. Then put it somewhere. So now this screw and the other one that keeps the zoom ring in place, and when you put it on, you cannot sit the opposite direction. So there is no special about that. Need a flathead screwdriver, which go in here. So one thing that goes wrong with those 70 to 200, it's the brush circuit board somewhere in here, and it's only held in place by sticky double-sided tape. So remember, there are some small washers, big washers here. Those has to sit back in again. Maybe they need some new grease or so. This lens is not a problem. And of course there is another one here, and the 2 branch springs here need to take out, and this one, and the last ring. So just put it here somewhere. Now Just to remember, just to see, okay, it's correct. I'll just put a mark here because it's the 70, and I will put a mark, well, could be here somewhere here or somewhere up here, just to be sure it's it correct. It's not a problem. I scratch in the aluminium for this. Now then we come to the lens element. It sits here. And for now I will just show, it can sometimes be a good idea to make just a little mark here, so I know the aperture sits correct, as you maybe can see. And then the 3 small screws. And the last one. So to be sure the lens is put somewhere safe place, I'll just use one of these sticky rubber cones to be sure it is okay. And then take out the lens element. So lift up here. It's really tight put in. So here we are. This is how it looks. So put it there and put it in a safe place. Now this is time for the aperture, which is also held in place by some screws. I mean, there's actually 1, 2, 3 there. And there's also a locking pin which sits somewhere. Where did it go? Here. Don't even think about to adjust this or screw on it if the aperture is okay. There's no need for that. And the last one. And I could actually just have this flex cable put out here, so it's not in my way. They also use some kind of screw lock, but it's only the head. So I think it's better just to use some thread lock, which I will show later when I put things back in again. Okay, so now take out or lift out the aperture system. It's just here, and gently, very gently lift it out. So this is how it looks. Really amazing, just like our eyes. So put that aside somewhere. I also use one of those cones. Now then we go to the front part and take this the focus ring off, and this part is held in place by 8 screws all the way around here. And you see there's something, dust or something. So when take off the this part here, be sure not to damage the flex cables. And there's also a lock pin. This one, don't even think about screw it out if it's not necessary. There's no adjustment in this case, so it's just to take things apart and put them back in again. That's what it is. So as you can see, it's not that hard to get into the lens. And it's almost the same when you put it back in. Just take care of the flex cable. So now here we are. This part, and I can just pull off here. Take care of the flex cable. So you see here, it's quite easy to lift out. Just be sure of those cables. So it is. There is there's also a small, actually 2 in this case, 2 washers, and it has to sit the same place. So those are the sensors for the vibration mechanism. I mean the electronic thing, and so it is. Now, then we come to the part that needs the attention. I just wonder where all those small hairs, or where do they come from? I guess from the production. Now, the focus ring is just to be pulled off. I know there are 3 springs around here, but it's not a problem to put them back in when I mean, it's not a problem to put back in the focus ring. I know there are some holes here, but it's not necessary to take off the rubber. Not in this case. Now, here we are in the focus system. But what's really go wrong with this lens is that this circuit board is actually, there are 2 lock pins under here. Actually one here, in here. I don't think I can get any closer. And there's one over here. But the problem is, when the lens has been used a lot, that this fiberglass circuit board is it's held in place with double-sided sticky tape. And double-sided sticky tape will over time dry out, and what do you say, the sticky thing will dry out, and then this will come loose. In this case it's not loose, but as you can see, it's a bit yeah, it's not really that good. But the problem is, just like shown in the iFixit tutorial, that the circuit board will go too close to the edge of this here, and therefore it will block. It's not really a problem into the in the far end, but it's a problem in the near end. So what one could do is, as they describe in the iFixit tutorial, I mean, they took off this brush, but it's not necessary. You can just move it over there and add some glue, not super glue. I mean, really not, because it simply doesn't work. But I think I will use the Loctite Multibond AA330, and it's together with an activator, which is called SF7386. And this has to be added first on the aluminium part, and this one will add on the fiberglass circuit board. It's a very small amount, so since there is any problem with this lens, I will just show how to add the small amount of this activator. Just add it, and that's it. It's the only thing. And then use a very small amount of Multibond. I will use a thin toothpick, which I think will do the job. And again, just a small amount. And then add it in here. So that's it, actually. Of course it has to dry, but you can see there is a gap here bigger than some mention, like iFixit. So this lens for this, in this case, is actually okay, but it will never do it again. So I could just when I'm in the lens, just check the screws that are around here, just to see if they are okay, if it's possible. This one here, not really any problem. Well, I think there's something around here. No, it's okay. It's actually okay. What about this in here? Very good. Then it's okay. And this one. So there's actually not really any problem in this lens. How about the zoom section? Can we have a... Can you please stay there? No. 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 I think it's okay. I just feel if it's any loose, and it seems to be okay. What about this? Not a problem. It's amazing how they made this lens. Just amazing. It's just an artwork. So that was it. So it's time to put the things back in again. Also take care of this brush here, the tiny one. This one here sticks out a little, but actually everything looks okay. So now it's time to put things back in again. Could just do some, take some of the dust away. Not really that much, but this one goes on here again, and when you put this on, just to do some little movement. So the other two springs, they just go on, and this one easy to push down little there, and push this down a little, and then it's on. So that was it. Then put this washer on here, and yeah, then we just put things back in again. And we have another spring here, which I also could just put on here. There. This washer go on here, and then the this part which you actually can take this here. And another thing, take care of this brush not to damage when you put this housing on. There, and then, where's my tweezer? Just pull this little. And everything is okay here. Yes. Just to be sure. And be sure the lock pin has to sit correct here. And then now it's time to just use a lot of thread lock with all those screws. So I use the Loctite 222, which you see here. To open it, just to be sure you not do it wrong, off the cap and pull this to unlock it. And then I just, that's enough. I think more than enough, but and so it's time to put things back in again. Maybe I'm wrong because I put the thread lock on the actual thread, but I think it works better. I know the factory, they put it on the screw head, but I think it will work better this way. So the first two screws you put in is one here or whatever, and the other the opposite side. Then you have a good control of nothing is bending or not aligned correct. And remember, this is just my experience. I don't know how the professionals do, but I guess they will do it in the almost same way. And why I use the Loctite 222, well, it's actually so I can disassemble the lens again without any problem. But if I use the 2.4, or I mean the 2.43, it's a bit harder on a thread lock, but it will do the same. But that's just my decision. And well, how should I had done this before I put this on? But I mean, I think you got the thing how it put in. Now it's time to put on the oh, I can see what I did wrong. I put on one, you see, the focus ring is too tight. Bastard. So I need to take this out again. Gosh, not easy. I mean, to do the same on a film and make the things at the same time, well, can be a problem sometimes. So I will just unscrew this, and of course there should only be 2 washers. I think there was something wrong, but well, it was good I didn't get any further. And maybe you get it before me. But sometimes when you work with things and do other things at the same time, like me, sit and talk and work with the stuff, well, you miss something. But it's not a big problem. So I will take off this washer again, put it there, because it has to sit here. Gosh. Okay, we give it another go. Was it not that hard? So, and I think there was something about the way I screw in the first screw, because there was something wrong. It was a bit too, what do you say, the screw was a bit tight, and it shouldn't be that. But you'll just do it again. Even if the professional on these authorized workshop, they do things wrong now and then. So it is. No one is perfect. But so maybe you think, okay, he did it wrong. Yes, I did. But I get it anyway. So, now I can turn my focus ring. And now it's just to put things back in again. that was it. Better take this out here, or I could just put on this goes here, there, and the two springs here. And another one here. Come on. All those greaves. So, here we are. And then I can just put it in. Take care of the flex. So, and the spring sits there, and the spring sits there almost. Well, it needs to be pushed in the gap. Maybe push it a little away. I think why these holes in the edge so come on. Mm-hmm. So it will be there, and then I can just press on it. So there, and the other one. Mm-hmm. Well, it can be a little tricky to put them on. And of course, it was actually it was not necessary to take off this zoom ring. I could just have unscrewed the two screws here and then just lift off the zoom ring. Okay, there is another way of doing it. Just figure out. See, the this ring is actually very helpful to get this done, because if I push down here, so this is locked, and I will do the exact same on the other side, and I think it will do the trick. So I push down here, and then I have actually locked the two springs. So maybe it will make it easier. Hope so. I think it will do the trick. Huh? Not? Come on, my dear. There must be a trick. Okay, do it again. Oh. It's not easy. But I think I will figure it out. So it is there. And the other one is there. So not easy. So maybe the spring has to sit on before push it in. Yeah. So one just has to press actually down on it, and it'll be the same with this one here. So here we are. Poof. And of course it's wrong, so I have to go all the way around, which I guess, yeah, it's possible without any problem. So here we are again. Okay, this is just grease. No problem. Not any problem. Here we are. And put that in with a tiny drop on the screw. See, just a small amount. Okay. It works. Tiny drop and put it in. So here we are. Fine. Okay, that was something. Now, Now the time is come to the aperture. This is here, and it cannot sit wrong. I have a lock pin over here, this one, and it goes into here. See? So one just have to put this in. And let it fall into place somewhere, just like here. So, and of course some more screws, and I will just give the thread lock just a tiny drop on the thread and then put it in. And everything is correct. Yeah, just double check. So, and so was any loose thread lock? Oh, screw head lock. Now, then we just need a lens. Yeah, that we just can put in, and it has to sit like this, the position of here. So you can see where it goes. So it has to sit like this. So the aperture pin is over here, and this side is here. I don't know how to explain, but hope you get it. And then one just need to put it in. Like there. And where did it go? Here. There isn't any locking pin for this lens. And so it is, almost. So are we sure it's the correct position? Yeah. No, it isn't. Oh, what do you think? We just need to check something, because It is correct. It was just me who think that was something wrong, but there isn't any. So putting it in, take care of the small piece of sticky tape. I don't know what mission they have. Maybe it's something just like adjusting tape. So. Here, and here we are. So, that's it. More thread lock on the screw head, the screws, and it can only sit in one way. All this. So, here we are. Yeah. So it's time to put the things in again. The back, the back of the lens need to be put in. And there is a tricky point about the aperture pin, which need to know. See, it's a spring-loaded aperture. So the pin here. Oh, sorry. Need to do that. The pin here that comes from the back of the lens here. This fork has to go over this pin. So it can be a little tricky. So I think I will do like this and take this out here. Okay. Welcome. Because then I will think it's easier to see what's going on in there, because you have to look through this hole here when you put the fork on, and the fork has to go almost all the way over here. And you see I have another problem. Yes. I think I was smart, but this one has to be in here. Because the flex cable is in the way. So by doing this, I can almost see what's going on. So one needs to get this, my cords here. Those are not the part of a normal lens, but so you maybe need to go up and down a little with the well, in my case it actually works. So that can be a little tricky. Now it's time to just save, just use 1 or 2 screws to actually save that the lens will not fall apart again and draw everything damaged. But that was actually the most of it. So, and then I have some flex cable here, which I need to draw out here. So that's the biggest one of those cable has to go like this. And then push him down the lock. And then the next one. So it sits there. Some of them can be a little tricky, so you need to push on the flex cable and at the same time push on the lock. So okay, maybe use the other one. It's from a stamp shop, collector's shop, and it's also sticky rubber and it works pretty good. So it's there, and then press down here and the other end, and then it should be that. I guess so. Now the switch board also has to go in place like okay, come on. So here we are. Where did it go? I think it will work. I mean, I hope it will work. And then flip it around. Then put it on. Not really necessary to give this a thread lock, but take care when you screw it in again the plastic in my lens is already broken. That's because I've been into the lens before. Now, so we just continue screwing all those bloody 11 screws. It's good to have the thread lock on a piece of paper because, or those sticky notes, because then you know where it is. Just 3 small screws, and then it's not that, it's over here. Whew, that was the last one of those. Then the nameplate has to sit somewhere here. No need for any thread lock. And then the last one. So now I could actually just try to see if it actually works. So I will put it on my favorite camera, Nikon D3S, and let it go like this. See if it can focus on something. Yeah. Well, it actually works quite good. So full open. Yeah. Well, it seems to work. So there's actually the only thing I have to do is put this on the tripod thingy here, and the 3 small plastic thingy, which can be a little annoying. So the next one, and the last one of those. So we are almost there. Well, I could just put the plastic in over and then be lucky enough to put it in. So it is. And the tripod screw, which I actually will give some thread lock. So we are almost there. Yeah, that was actually that. So yeah, what can one say? It's just work perfect. So how to fix this? Yeah, it's done. So bye bye.